Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, hosted by two nationally published Atlanta interior designers, Joanne Kandrak and Kelly Cole. These energetic women are also world travelers, charity givers, and bloggers with a wealth of information to share and stories to tell about the interior design world. Okay, now just a warning, this is going to be fun and not too serious. After all, they still do have an interior design business running at full speed.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is episode 96 of Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, and today we're talking about 2020 in review. So I think we all agree that we should put 2020 in our rearview mirror, shall we? But before we do, we thought we'd take some time to review the blessings, the amazing projects, the podcasts, and the people we met along the way.
So before we get started, we want to let you know that this episode of Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole is sponsored by Curry & Company. Curry is mainly known for their extensive lighting collections and supreme craftsmanship. However, over the last 30 years, they have created an extensive line of furniture, upholstery, and accessories. Their customer service and commitment and quality is what makes them one of our go-to sources. So check them out at curryandcompany.com.
So we found this is an interesting exercise. When you take the time to kind of sit down and review a period of time, it's quite amazing to watch kind of the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs, especially in a year like this.
Yeah. So what happens in one year? I always think about this on New Year's. I think, okay, let me think about all that's happened in this one year. And then I think, what's going to happen in this coming year? But who knew in January of 2020 what this year would be?
Yeah. I was listening to Oprah on the Today Show this morning, and she was saying that this is all of our opportunity to take what we've learned in 2020, the pain, the suffering, the blessings, the hardships, and have it give you power for 2021. I think it's a great way to look at it. So let's just start off in January, because I think watching our year is almost humorous of how it changed so much.
And these are really just the highlights, because when I look at our calendar, the days are really full. So we're really giving you the highlights, because when I think about what we do just in a week's time, and then you look at it over a year, it's like, oh my God, we are machines.
Yes, we are machines. So we started out in January with an invitation that we'd been waiting for years to work on the One Room Challenge. And Linda Weinstein emailed us and said, please be a part of this. And hopefully you guys have looked at our blog. There's several all about the One Room Challenge. We podcast about it, where we decided to take our podcast duty and completely reinvent it.
Yeah, and we were generally, if you know anything about the One Room Challenge, it's somebody that invites you to, pick a space, redo it, blog about it every week. And a lot of times, and we could have done it, was done a client space or done one of our homes. But we were really busy when she asked us, but we didn't want to miss the opportunity. We didn't want to do anything that was a big renovation, because we knew we wouldn't be able to give it 100%. Then we thought, you know what? Our podcast studio is looking a little sad. It's right in our office. We don't have to travel. And we ended up doing it. It worked out. I'm sitting in here right now looking around going, I love what we did in here.
It's amazing. So that was a great opportunity. And then we always start out January working with our multifamily luxury apartment clients. And so we started that. And this time they asked us to do, I think we did like 6 communities, and we chose exterior colors for the entire communities. And that was something we hadn't done in that volume before. We do tons of residential, but we hadn't done commercial in this.
And it's all different, because most of them are sided, but then some are brick, so you have to kind of match that brick. And then as you meander through these apartment communities, like what are most of them? I'm not good with it. Like they're 1,000 units?
No, they're anywhere from 350 to 450.
Yeah, so they're
mid-size.
Not all necessarily the same.
Nope.
And some sit, under some heavy trees, so it's a little more shaded there. So as you drive through, some have the architecture is just a little bit different, so the trim might be different there. So that was a huge project
endeavor. Yeah, that was something new. And then, the most exciting thing of all, and you guys all hopefully know this, is we rebranded, and we kicked off our brand new website that we had taken so much time and effort and energy and money to completely redo from scratch.
Yes.
And that was just
Yeah.
I think the highlight of the year.
That was a big one. And a big shout out to Frankie Durbin, which is she has a new last name now.
Yes.
But we interviewed her on our podcast not that long ago, and she's a great branding person. She really had a lot of patience with us, and we got it to where we love it.
Yeah. God, that was just 1 month.
I know.
Jeez. So in February, we were invited, another big invitation, to be on the Insiders Tour for the spring High Point Market. And so Esteem Media and High Point Market joined together, and they do this Insiders Tour where we had vetted, we had cultivated this group of 10 newbie interior designers or even
people, I think,
that hadn't been
to a market in like four markets, meaning really 2 years.
So we were getting ready to take them on a self-guided or a guided tour with us.
Which was really great because High Point is super overwhelming, really big, and anybody going for the first time wouldn't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
Plus, we would have had so much fun.
Yeah.
And then we got a great project working for a couple in Monroe, Georgia, which is about a little over an hour from us. And we worked with them all year long. And
remember, we were like, oh, Monroe, no.
Yeah.
And then Amy Dempsey in our office, she was like, guys, this couple is just super great. They had met on Match.com. They were a very unlikely couple. This was their new home together, and we were like,
it was
okay.
Yeah, it was a great project.
It was.
And then I did have some shoulder surgery that month.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I feel like that was ages ago.
I feel like it was ages ago.
Yeah.
So I thought I was having rotator cuff, but they went in and did some other little things. But it put me down for a little bit, but still made it through. And
she's a trooper.
I'm a trooper. Here we go. March. Oh my God. So we know what happened in the middle of March, but starting out in March, we got all of the, we create the budgets for these properties, and then the money comes, and then they're like, okay, here you go. So we worked on, in Atlanta, MAA Chastain, Alexander, and Lake Lanier.
And that was just, I know we did a whole bunch more. Those are the kind of the big ones that first came to mind. And we do so much work on the front end to visit the property, take all the measurements, all the photographs, create these extensive proposals, and then we just wait for them to say, okay, it's time. And then when it's time, sometimes they all come in, several at one time. And that's what happened in March, which was actually the biggest blessing in the whole wide world, because I had foot surgery and I couldn't walk for 8 weeks. So couldn't drive, couldn't walk, didn't leave my house. So unless somebody was escorting me, and
you couldn't have picked a better time to be stuck at home. I couldn't have picked a better time.
So I was so busy with all of that, pulling all those projects together, that it was great.
Yeah. And then we had also pulled together our team for Guatemala. We were going to be going in June. We had our airplane tickets. We had our designer friends. We've had some return people that have gone with us, some new ones. My granddaughter Jordan was going to come with us, and so exciting. So we had made those arrangements, and we were getting very excited to go.
And then,
we didn't cancel yet.
We didn't cancel yet.
We didn't know what was going to happen.
High Point, then the Insiders Tour canceled. That was the first cancellation, right?
Yes. I vividly remember when things started getting canceled, because for some reason it was the NBA, maybe it was the Final Four, something. It was a big something that got canceled. And it was like, wow, they canceled that. And then after that, it was like one after another after another. And then after about 3 weeks, you go, I wonder if, yes, it's canceled. Everything was canceled.
Yes. So in April, that's when everything kind of started to shut down. And thankfully, we were swamped with that commercial work. What a blessing in disguise, I tell you, because we never slowed down. We were so busy.
Everybody was posting recipes, and people were sending me jokes. And I was like, people, I'm really busy. I want to be you. I want to be watching this stuff. And we were so busy. We weren't in that mode yet.
Yeah. I'm sitting there with my foot up on ice, wrapped, wobbling around on a wheelie scooter, but I was happy as a clam.
Yeah.
So at the same time in April, our CPA messaged us and said, guys, time to apply for the EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and PPP. Get your stuff together and go for it. And we were like, okay, because at this point we're busy, but now we're getting a little nervous.
Well, we wonder,
are our residential clients going to just slam the door in our face for the next foreseeable future?
We hadn't had a phone call, I think, all of April.
Right.
From a residential client. We were like, oh my God. So thank God Kelly was the ultimate filled out the forms. And this is what this is what's so great about having a business partner, because one will do maybe what the other doesn't want to do or whatever. She was just so good at it and so on top of it. So she worked doing all that, and we were very lucky to get it.
Yeah, we were very lucky, very blessed. So then in May, I don't know how we pulled it out, but our one room challenge project ended up happening.
You know what? I don't think in May, we were wearing masks. I don't think in May that was really happening then. I don't remember.
No, I remember it was the beginning because Kat came to photograph and she was in her mask, and we were all just getting used to it for the very first time.
We didn't start wearing masks till the summer, but maybe it was May. But Katrina Maxwell, who is Cat Max Photography, came and photographed our space for the one room challenge, and if you can see it, it's on social media all over the place.
But thankfully, we had called the painters, and we had gotten all the sponsors lined up, and we did it all very quickly, or we wouldn't have gotten it done in time.
Well, you know what? They extended it. They said if you can't get to it, you can extend it. It was a little bit of a weird year, but we ended up, of course, as anal as we are, we ended up getting it done right on time.
Yeah, we were lucky. So that happened in May, and then we are continuing our commercial work, but now we've got two things happening. We've got two of the large projects that we're working on. MAA Stratford's Leasing Center, which was a complete renovation build out, and then the big one that we've been working on for 2 years, MAA Buckhead, finally coming to fruition.
These are these repositioning projects, which are huge.
They were big, and those finally kind of the pedal went to the metal, and we were like, okay, well.
I guess because they were considered essential.
Yes.
Because it was, home, apartment, living or whatever. So we were able to work on those. So here we are in May, still plugging along, not really feeling I think we were finishing up all of our residential projects.
Yep. We may have had a lingering couple, but we were totally
we were all
focused.
working. We were all working from home.
Yep.
We were doing Zoom. We had gotten Zoom all figured out.
Yep.
So we were really plugging along. But then here's where the big cancellations started. Our Guatemala trip got canceled. Kelly had a trip to Spain that got canceled. I had a Mediterranean cruise that got canceled. And it was just kind of like, okay, this is a real thing. Mm-hmm. This is let's see what we need to be doing. So in June, that's when we had always had an e-design program, but it became the buzzword now all of a sudden. That's what everybody was doing because you weren't going into people's homes. So we kind of amped it up a little bit and kind of made it a little more out there on our website. And then we still stayed busy with a new multifamily project, which was it's a rooftop lounge area with a dog park and seating and tennis and cornhole, lounging, cool space.
We had never done anything like that before. I mean, we've done a lot of outdoor spaces, but this was of a magnitude that we hadn't done before. And we worked hand in hand with the owners of this community and with Southwood here in Atlanta, who really laid out the whole rooftop, which was originally it was 2 tennis courts on a rooftop with a massive space in between. So they kept one tennis court, and then all the rest became this luxurious rooftop space with cornhole and fire pits and hammocks and sunshades and a whole dog park. And we were like, oh my God, how do we do this? Talk about research, development, teaming up with these other talented people, artificial turf, water, getting water up there, getting the propane up there. I mean, it was a lot.
And so it was supposed to be installed in September, I believe.
Yeah.
And then with COVID.
I think originally they wanted it in August.
Yeah. I mean, because that's the fall is the perfect time in Atlanta to be up on a rooftop. So we, believe it or not, we were supposed to install in November, and then there were some hiccups with weather and whatever because they were painting and doing all this exterior stuff. So we're actually going to be installing that
hopefully
January 2nd week of January 6th or whatever. So stay tuned. Watch those pictures because it's going to be a really cool, fun space.
It's the whole top is broken up with all different colors paint and all different color artificial turf, and then there's all these kind of artificial hedges that delineate the spaces, and it's wicked. It's I mean, everybody should go and hang out at this place. So we're still humming along with all of this, and then because we started to panic because we're like, okay, we're on all these Zoom calls. We're going to all these, we're seeing what our industry's doing. We got to get creative and we got to think outside the box. So, because what if our residential clients like don't call for forever? And that's where the e-design buildup came. And just as we kind of kicked that off, all of a sudden, we got at least 5 calls from old clients.
Previous clients
who had just spent a lot of time in their houses and were like, time to call the girls. And we got some good ones.
Yes. One of them we had worked with probably 6 or 7 years ago doing a massive reconstruction, like knocking down walls, adding totally new kitchen, like a huge renovation. So we brought in our architect and our construction guy. And so the 3 of us will be working as a team to get this done. It's going to be really fun.
And that one hasn't even started yet. We were just kicking that one off. The one that did kick off was another existing client who we were just about to finish up like the last room. It was the piano room. It was the last room. And she called and said, hold please, we're going to build instead. And we were like, okay, your house is like
perfect,
magnificent. Okay. She's like, we're meeting with the architect, hold. So then she calls me 2 days later. Change of plans. We're not building. We found a great house, but we're going to make a ton of changes to it. Well, okay. We're along for the ride. So here we go. And we're still working on that.
We're still working on it.
Yeah. So that was July. We're still working on it.
And then our lovely she was 85 the last time we worked with her, Jean.
Was it that long ago?
Yes, because it was 7 years.
We've done 3 projects for her.
It was 7 years ago.
Oh my god!
So here she is now. She's 93.
Yeah,
and if you've listened, we've talked about her. We're redoing her redoing her master bedroom. She is the crazy cool, so fun. So we're so happy to be doing her master bedroom for her. But she came out of the woodwork.
Mm-hmm. And then our the Howards, who we did they're the last kitchen renovation that you see on all of our pictures that came out so beautiful.
It was the house kitchen of the week.
It was house kitchen of the week. So now they are building a pool and they want all their outdoor stuff again. Well, now that we're outdoor pros, you know, we're going to help her with all of her stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So that's July. Now, August, here we are. We've got... I guess our industry started realizing that, oh my God, like we're not doing anything. So we started getting involved in panels and we had all kinds of meetings and there was conferences.
All over Zoom. Shoot me.
Yeah, it was fun, but I feel sorry for anybody that has to be doing that all day long.
Like my husband.
It's really, really
It was so nice to see everybody and be involved and be still learning and educating, but
yeah, I think that was kind of
an in-person kind of girl.
That was the kind of time. So let's see, it was March, April, May, June, July. So we're into it like 5 months now, and everybody thinking, oh, I didn't realize this would be going on. Yeah. So it's kind of like, all right, this is our new world. What's going to happen?
Mm-hmm. So we got used to all that, and we're still doing some of that. But thankfully, I mean, we live in crazy Georgia, so we're still kind of out and about. We're not totally shut down. But in September, we got smart again. We're hanging out with the owner of DK Gallery in Marietta, Donna Kruger, who was on our podcast. And she was like, hey, did you guys know that Cobb County or Select Cobb has a small business grant that's out there? And we were like, what? Okay. So here I go again, pulling out all the income and expense reports. And we applied for that. And we ended up getting it. And that was nice just to keep us going and making sure what our fear was. Because we weren't here. Now keep in mind this whole time, we are still working at home. So we're still paying rent on our building. We're still paying Amy and Lisa no matter how, little hours they were working. So that grant money really helped us just keep going.
Yeah. So then in September, we finished up that large MAA Buckhead property. That install was really
a proud moment.
It was really a proud moment because it was a concrete shell when we started. And then for it to end up being what it became was so great. And we knew that we wanted to photograph that. So that's what we did in October. We did that on a Sunday morning because we couldn't really be doing it while they were open. And they're open. They're leasing apartments on Sundays.
Yeah.
So we got there really early on a Sunday morning and photographed it. It was really a challenge because there was some really
a lot of glass.
A lot of glass and
reflection.
A lot of reflection to deal with. But Lauren Rubenstein Photography, she did such a great job. And we put that out on social media. It's also on our website under our multifamily or under our commercial work.
Yes. And then Amy in our office, again, as you know, is our master client qualifier, and she had been chatting for a while with this couple who was building a home up on Red Top Mountain in Cartersville, Georgia, looking over Lake Allatoona. And it was finally time where they were at a place where sheetrock was going up and we could go in and start working with them. So that was a we have such great clients, and this was a young doctor and his wife and their sweet baby boy, and they're just been the biggest pleasure to work with, and their house is magnificent.
It's hard to believe.
We furnished the whole thing.
I mean, the views, although isn't Lake Allatoona where Ozark is filmed?
Yeah.
So that's where it's a beautiful lake, and you can see all of the and this is winter. So in the summer, can you imagine how beautiful it would be?
It's going to be great.
Yeah. And then a proud moment was being on Luann Nigara's podcast, A Well-Designed Business. And she wanted us to talk about how we onboard our clients. Like, what do we do? And this is always very exciting to hear what other designers do, because we all do it differently. And so we talked about how do we set up, what's the first thing that happens when somebody calls our offices or emails us through our website? Who talks to them? What do we say? What do we charge for a consultation? What do we do at that consultation? It's a really good one. I think it's episode 616 of A Well-Designed Business. That was a good one. That was a really, really proud moment to do that with her.
It was. And that led us into revamping our website again we added 2 new services. One, Pick Our Brain, in case you are a designer listening and you just want to pick our brain and just learn from us and ask us a million questions, or any small business owner. We have that service on our website now where you can book time with us. And then we also started a designer to designer consulting, where it's kind of just a side gig of Pick Your Brain, where we will mentor and help any new designers that are out there. So that was another kind of COVID, blessing, revelation, that change that happened. Yeah. So by now we've gotten brave. We're used to COVID. Some things are changing, and we plan to go to High Point. So we went to High Point in the fall. We did. It was great.
We reached out and asked a lot of our friends who's going, and it seemed like there were a lot that were not going. So we had missed the prior year, and then we were planning to go in the spring, and so we had missed that. So we had missed like a year now, and that's a lot when you're a designer and you're looking for the trends and to see what's new, and we need to see things in person. So we're like, you know what? We're going to mask up. It doesn't seem like it's going to be busy. And we did it, and it was awesome.
It was so awesome. It was quiet, and we made 1 million appointments, and High Point did an amazing job keeping us all safe. And we got a ton done because we had projects we needed new product for. Yeah. So that was exciting for October. And then November, oh my goodness, we got so lucky. We had 2 new clients call us that live in kind of East Atlanta, like really funky, cool area of Atlanta that we hadn't worked in, on 2 very cool urban, modern, funky, cool projects. So we've been working with them. We just presented to them.
Yes.
And so that was November. And then December, here we are.
We've had, I think, was it last week? We had 2 installs, 2 presentations, 2 of our probably biggest presentations. That's a week. We've never done 2 installs, 2 presentations in one week. 2
big presentations. I mean, they were hours long. So it's really come to, it really came to a head where sometimes we're really quiet in December because we have to order product for Christmas installs. We have to order product by September. So things are kind of winding down in December, but not in COVID times for our industry.
No.
So
and it's funny because when we're dealing with some of these contractors, you can't, the one contractor that we work with has business already booked for next year.
Yep.
And
he's having to take deposits too,
to ensure that the people are going to do,
Yeah. So now it is, you guys will hear this almost before Christmas, but we are winding down. We are having our team Christmas lunch today. We have decided we decided to adopt a family through the Giving Grace organization here in Atlanta, and our team, Amy especially, just wrapped everything. We adopted a mom and her little girl, and we gave them tons and tons of clothes and money, and that was great. And we also, of course, gave to our organization that we constantly support, Catalyst Resources International in Guatemala, because they are not only suffering from COVID, but from amazingly terrible flooding. And the pain is real.
We were just talking about it. We're gonna hope that we can go in June. Mm-hmm. We don't really know what's kind of happening. Mm-hmm. And High Point is generally in April every year, and they have just extended it to June, which I think is probably a good idea. I think people might feel safer then.
Mm-hmm. So we are signed up. We'll be going. We'll see. So I think the message of this episode that we really wanted to share is just kind of what Oprah said is make lemonade out of those lemons, and really we took the time to kind of reconfigure our business and stay positive, and we were blessed, and we wanted to turn around and share those blessings with other people.
Sometimes you have to be forced to pause.
Yes.
Pause and take a look around, because we're on this wheel and we're constantly going and going and going. And it's good. Kelly and I would do our Panera days, which we would have to take time out from our every day of running around. And just, even if we spent 3 hours on our business, we would just talk about, okay, we need to be looking at that. And what we would accomplish in those 3 hours, we would never be able to do unless we got away from the office and started thinking about it and talking about it. So a pause is okay.
I think a pause is very healthy and very good. And hopefully, I would hope that January would kick off a little bit better. But hey, the vaccine is here, and we hope that everybody just gets through this wintertime and this holiday season and just stay safe. And
we'll be talking about this year for many, many, many years to come. My granddaughter's in a Christmas Carol play, and they're doing it outside, but they're wearing like these shields, and I'm sure there'll be pictures, and I'm sure, years down the road, she'll go, you wouldn't believe it. I was in a musical and I had to wear, I wore a mask, but these are things. She's 11. And so you remember a lot of those things. So it'll be interesting to see what our kids and kids will be telling their grandchildren about this particular year.
Yeah. Well, let's close with our quotes. I think you should do the funny one, because it's so you.
Oh, because I'm up around midnight all the time. All right, here's the funny quote. Every day around midnight, I'm shocked to find out it's only 6 p.m. Seriously, my husband and I will be eating dinner. We eat dinner kind of early, and it'll be like maybe 6:30. We're cleaning up, and we'll look at each other, and we'll be like, no, too early to go to bed. But it's dark out.
It's so tempting.
I've already put on my pajamas, because I'm not going to put another outfit on. I'm going to go from my work clothes to another outfit to be changing again in an hour for my pajamas. What's the point?
Sometimes we get in bed and Mike looks at me and goes, we are so old. And I'm going, I do not care. This is my happy, happy, happy time.
The terrible thing is the highlight of my day. Like when
it's the highlight of my day.
When I'm making my bed in the morning,
I'm sad.
I'm going, I can't wait to get back in here tonight.
I'm sad that it's over. I am sad. Yeah, it's terrible. What does that say about us?
I love my bed.
I think it says that we work our butts off, is what it says, and we're falling down exhausted. Yeah. All right, here's our serious quote. We must find time to stop and thank the people who make a difference in our lives. And that's John F. Kennedy. Yeah. And I just simple, straight up. Mm-hmm. I think it's time for, always to be grateful, and especially if you were blessed like us during 2020 and the hardships weren't as great as others, it's very important to give back. It really, really is. Like, take some time this Christmas to support your local restaurants and your local charities, and reach out to somebody who really, really needs it.
Because whether you realize it or not, people are watching. People, like, I know that we have an impact on people. Mm-hmm. You go through your everyday life, but somebody will say something and I'll be like, wow, I didn't realize they were even noticing that. But people are noticing it. And, for your kids, your grandkids, they're watching what you do. Mm-hmm. So giving back is showing them that is something you really should do.
You really should do. It's kind of our obligation. So thank you guys for listening during 2020. We hope that we kept you entertained while you were home, and
It's hard to believe. Yeah,
it's hard to believe this is our last one.
This is our last one for this year, and January will be 3 years
It
of
will
our
be.
podcast. So
Yep.
this is episode 96. We need to do something really exciting for episode 100 because I think that's a big deal. So we'll be thinking about something.
Yeah,
so if you have
send
any
us ideas.
if you
Yeah.
have any ideas what we should do.
Yeah. All right. Well, happy holidays and happy New Year, everybody.
Yes, happy holidays.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Join Joanne and Kelly weekly for a lively conversation about trends, travels to industry events, current design projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do's and don'ts, product recommendations, and more. Be sure to follow the fun on Facebook. They're on Instagram at Kandrak-Cole, and of course, you've got to visit them online at kandrak-cole.com for more information.